Rosh Hashanah Yom Teruah Day 2. Rosh Hashanah, beginning of the year, Day 2. Rosh Hashanah Yom Teruah Day 2. Torah Bereshit Genesis 22:1-24 Numbers 29:1-6. Haftarah Yirmeyahu, Jeremiah 31:1-19. Berit Hadashah Matthew 24:30-31. 1 Corinthians 15:51-52. 1 Thessalonians 4:16-18. Revelation 19:6-9 and 22:1-7. Torah Bereshit Genesis 22:1-24. 22:1 After these things, God tested Abraham. He said to him, Abraham, and he answered, Here I am. He said, Take your son, your only son, whom you love, Yitzchak, and go to the land of Moriah. There you are to offer him as a burnt offering on a mountain that I will point out to you. Abraham got up early in the morning, saddled his donkey, and took 2 of his young men with him, together with Yitzchak his son. He cut the wood for the burnt offering, departed and went toward the place God had told him about. On the 3rd day, Abraham raised his eyes and saw the place in the distance. Abraham said to his young men, Stay here with the donkey, I and the boy will go there, worship and return to you. Abraham took the wood for the burnt offering and laid it on Yitzchak his son. Then he took in his hand the fire and the knife, and they both went on together. Yitzchak spoke to Abraham his father. My father? He answered, Here I am, my son. He said, I see the fire and the wood, but where is the lamb for a burnt offering? Abraham replied, God will provide himself the lamb for a burnt offering, my son, and they both went on together. They came to the place God had told him about, and Abraham built the altar there, set the wood in order, bound Yitzchak his son and laid him on the altar, on the wood. Then Abraham put out his hand and took the knife to kill his son, but the angel of Adonai called to him out of heaven, Abraham, Abraham. He answered, Here I am. He said, Don't lay your hand on the boy, don't do anything to him, for now, I know that you are a man who fears God, because you have not withheld your son, your only son, from me. Abraham raised his eyes and looked, and there behind him was a ram caught in the bushes by its horns. Abraham went and took the ram and offered it up as a burnt offering in place of his son. Abraham called the place Adonai Yireh, the Lord will see to it, the Lord provides, as it is said to this day, on the mountain Adonai is seen. The angel of Adonai called to Abraham a second time out of heaven. He said, I have sworn by myself, says Adonai, that because you have done this, because you haven't withheld your son, your only son, I will most certainly bless you. And I will most certainly increase your descendants to as many as there are stars in the sky or grains of sand on the seashore. Your descendants will possess the cities of their enemies, and by your descendants all the nations of the earth will be blessed because you obeyed my order. So Abraham returned to his young men. They got up and went together to Beersheba, and Abraham settled in Beersheba. Mafti. Afterwards, Abraham was told, Milcah has borne children, to your brother Nachor's his firstborn, was his brother, Kemuel the father of Aram, Keist, Hazo, Pildash, Yidlath and Bethuel. Bethuel fathered Rivkah, Rebekah. These 8 Milcah bore to Nachor Abraham's brother. His concubine, whose name was Reumah, bore children also Tevach, Gachem, Tachash and Markah. Numbers 29:1 In the 7th month, on the 1st day of the month, you are to have a holy convocation. Do not do any kind of ordinary work. It is a day of blowing the shofar for you. Prepare a burnt offering to make a fragrant aroma for Adonai, 1 young bull, 1 ram and 7 male lambs in their first year and without defect with their grain offering, consisting of fine flour mixed with olive oil, 6 quarts for the bull, 4 quarts for the ram, and 2 quarts for each of the 7 lambs, also 1 male goat as a sin offering to make atonement for you. This is to be in addition to the burnt offering for Rosh Hashanah with its grain offering, the regular burnt offering with its grain offering, and their drink offerings, according to the rule for them. This will be a fragrant aroma, an offering made by fire to Adonai. Haftarah Yirmeyahu, Jeremiah 31:1-19, 31:1-2. Here is what Adonai says, the people escaping the sword found favor in the desert. I have brought Israel to its rest. From a distance Adonai appeared to me, saying, I love you with an everlasting love. This is why in my grace I draw you to me. Once again, I will build you, you will be rebuilt, Virgin of Israel. Once again, equipped with your tambourines, you will go out and dance with the merrymakers. Once again, you will plant vineyards on the hills of Shomron, and those doing the planting will have the use of its fruit. For a day will come when the watchman, on Mount Ephraim will call, Come, let's go up to Zion, to Adonai our God. For here is what Adonai says, Sing with joy for Yaakov, shout for the chief of the nations, proclaim your praise, and say, Adonai, You have saved your people, the remnant of Israel. Look, I am bringing them from the land in the north, gathering them from the far ends of the earth. Among them are the blind and lame, women with children, women in labor, all together, a vast throng, returning here. They will come weeping and praying. As I bring them back, I will lead them by streams of water, on smooth paths, so that they won't stumble. For I am a father to Israel, and Ephraim is my firstborn son. Nations, hear the word of Adonai, proclaim it in the coastlands far away. Say, he who scattered Israel is gathering him, guarding him like a shepherd his flock. For Adonai has ransomed Yaakov, redeemed him from hands too strong for him. They will come and sing on the heights of Zion, streaming to the goodness of Adonai, to the grain, the wine, the olive oil, and the young of the flock and the herd. They themselves will be like a well-watered garden, never to languish again. Then the virgin will dance for joy, young men and old men together, for I will turn their mourning into joy, comfort and gladden them after their sorrow. I will give the Kohanim their fill of rich food, and my people will be satisfied with my bounty, says Adonai. This is what Adonai says. A voice is heard in Ramah, lamenting and bitter weeping. It is Rachel weeping for her children, refusing to be comforted for her children, because they are no longer alive. This is what Adonai says. Stop your weeping, and dry your eyes, for your work will be rewarded, says Adonai. They will return from the enemy's land. So there is hope for your future, says Adonai. Your children will return to their own territory. I hear Ephraim bemoaning himself. You disciplined me, and I took your discipline. Like a young ox not used to a yoke, let me return, and I will return, for you are Adonai, my God. Yes, I turned away, but later I repented, when I had been made to understand. I struck my thigh in shame and remorse, bearing the weight of the disgrace, acquired when I was young. Isn't Ephraim my very dear son, a child who delights me so? I speak about him all the time. I can't help but recall him to mind. In sum, I deeply yearn for him. I will surely show him favor, says Adonai. Berit Hadashah Matthew 20:30-31, 1 Corinthians 15:51-52, 1 Thessalonians 4:16-18, Revelation 19:6-9, and 22:1-7, Matthew 20:30. Then the sign of the Son of Man will appear in the sky, all the tribes of the land will mourn, and they will see the Son of Man coming on the clouds of heaven with tremendous power and glory. He will send out his angels with a great shofar, and they will gather together his chosen people from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other. 1 Corinthians 15:51-52. Look, I will tell you a secret. Not all of us will die, but we will all be changed. It will take but a moment, the blink of an eye, at the final shofar. For the shofar will sound, and the dead will be raised alive forever, and we too will be changed. 1 Thessalonians 4:16-18. For the Lord himself will come down from heaven with a rousing cry, with a call from one of the ruling angels, and with God's shofar. Those who died united with the Messiah will be the first to rise, then we who are left still alive will be caught up with them in the clouds to meet the Lord in the air. And thus we will always be with the Lord, so encourage each other with these words. Revelation 19:6-9. Then I heard what sounded like the roar of a huge crowd, like the sound of rushing waters, like loud peals of thunder, saying, Alleluia! Adonai, God of heaven's armies, has begun his reign. Let us rejoice and be glad. Let us give him the glory. For the time has come for the wedding of the Lamb, and his bride has prepared herself. Fine linen, bright and clean, has been given her to wear. Fine linen means the righteous deeds of God's people. The angel said to me, write, how blessed are those who have been invited to the wedding feast of the Lamb. Then he added, these are God's very words. Revelation 22:1-7. Next the angel showed me the river of the water of life, sparkling like crystal, flowing from the throne of God and of the Lamb. Between the main street and the river was the tree of life, producing 12 kinds of fruit, a different kind every month. And the leaves of the tree were for healing the nations. No longer will there be any curses. The throne of God and of the Lamb will be in the city, and his servants will worship him. They will see his face, and his name will be on their foreheads. Night will no longer exist, so they will need neither the light of a lamp nor the light of the sun, because Adonai, God, will shine upon them, and they will reign as kings forever and ever. Then he said to me, these words are true and trustworthy. Adonai, God of the spirits of the prophets, sent his angel to show his servants the things that must happen soon. Look, I am coming very soon. Blessed is the person who obeys the words of the prophecy written in this book.